Hello, possums. Dr. Lena, coming to you from Salvador de Bahia, which is very beautiful. You can look it up online if you're interested. It's in the north of Brazil, very tropical, absolutely fabulous, and an extraordinary history. So the thing in Bahia, which is 80% black, is it is just so phenomenally alive. And there's even a saying here, babies aren't born in Bahia, they're launched. They're launched into the world and the culture. Isn't that extraordinary? Don't you just love it? Okay, so moving on. And Brazil, let me tell you, looks and feels like a stable nation next to the Estados Unidos. It goes on the craziness. You know, we all refer to Jonestown and the Koolaid, but that's what the Republican Party did this week. All of them, basically 2 or 3 stood out, but I'm sorry, that doesn't count out of hundreds, you know. And basically absolutely spitting on, I'll say for YouTube rather than what I want to say, spitting on the DOJ and the system of law and order in America. But I've got some news. Merrick Garland isn't dead. He turned up 2 days ago or something and spoke. And that's after watching, you know, Jack Smith's case be crucified at the hands of this cretinous, imbecilic, foul alien cannon. And then with everything else that's happened throughout the New York cases and everything that's been happening in Georgia. But he finally spoke and said, oh, look, it's really not good. You know, I'm really disappointed. Not good enough. Not good enough. You are the most powerful legal person in the country. You should be speaking daily. We should all be sick of the sound of your voice because you should be on every outlet. Now, I know some of you will think, oh, that's not his role, Attorney General. Well, if it was a Republican Attorney General, you'd be hearing from them. You could be assured of that. And that's if they weren't sabotaging a major investigation. These are not normal times. Merrick Garland and others need to be out there in the public domain. But enough of the rant. In the meantime, back to the Yeti, because it's hard to get away, isn't it? He's claiming 56 million, 58 million or something. I'd like to know if that's true or not. I don't know. I mean, we know there are enough MAGA files out there to give him their last dollar. So are they doing that? Or are they lying about the figures? And where is the money? You know, I'm sure Lara Trump's got it in her purse. You know, maybe they should have a look. Okay, so we're going to just have a quick look. Just true or false? Is it an exaggerated number in the Trumpian tradition? Is he getting millions from people? True or false? Let's have a look. There's the King of Pentacles, King of Swords, partnerships, confusion. Ah! Oh, it's good to have a laugh, isn't it? Really? Yes. Well, King of Pentacles is attracting the money, there's no doubt, and they're talking it up. You may or may not be surprised to know there will be some legal follow-up on this. You know what they're like. This will be saying, give me the money and it's going to the GOP or something when it's not. It's purely going for his legal defense. he's in a partnership, well, the partnership from hell, really, with the, Bride of Chucky type pact that he has. This whole thing's becoming more and more like a Stephen King movie, isn't it? With what used to be the GOP. And there's going to be some confusion, if not a lot of confusion, about where this money goes. In other words, I think many of the rank and file of the MAGA people, actually, they don't have a problem with giving him money. If they had more, they'd give him more. They're happy for him to spend it on his defence. But not the entire party is happy with that. And so I think people are going to be confused when he either doesn't or can't pay some legal bills. They'll go, but we sent you 56 million. I don't know how these people manage to tie their shoelaces. Maybe they have Velcro trainers. Because really, can't actually believe it. Now, in other interesting turns of events, what's left of the legal process is going ahead in New York, and the next stage is a pre-sentencing report. So I've had a fair bit to do with those one way and another, but that's another story over a couple of champagnes. Okay, so a pre-sentencing report, when someone's been convicted, it's like a rubric cube. So sorry about this lighting that keeps going in and out. I'm sort of in quite a dark space, but everywhere else is actually darker. But so you take into account he's a first offender. He's 73. La, la, la. First offender, how can they even say that with straight face? White collar crime, all the things that mitigate against a jail sentence. Now, normally, the defence lawyers are very keen on getting psychological evaluations for their people because it helps the average normal defendant if it can be demonstrated they have some pre-existing condition or some behavioural cognizance disconnect or something that can help their case. My question to you guys, if you let me know in the comments, is a psych evaluation a standard part of the pre-sentencing report in New York? Because it's probably different in every state. Is it standard or is it something that has to be requested? I'd imagine the judge can request it. And if I was in Merchan's shoes, I'd be requesting it just as another safeguard for whatever he hands down, right? So I have a feeling a psych report's on the card, so to speak. But let's have a look at the sentencing issue. Oof, it's really hard, isn't it? Does he send him to jail and everything that represents? Not likely. He could fine him, which is, again, pointless and doesn't touch the sides, dissatisfying to the public. It's a hard one. I don't think he can win. So, or is he going to be put under mansion arrest? No. Let's have a look at the sentencing. Sorry, I'm just getting back to Merrick Garland again. All these judges, except Mistress Cannon, have been getting serious threats to themselves and their families. They're having to move out of their homes. And he can't get another sentence out, Unforgivable, sorry. Okay, sentencing for the Yeti. Sentencing for the Yeti. Okay. What is likely? Ugh. Incarceration is not off the table. I'm surprised. I am very surprised. Oh, and there he is. Stinky finger. Look, whatever it is, the Yeti is not going to like it. All right. So the card over the issue, Eight of Swords, often, obviously, the jail card. However, with the Eight of Swords, it's a prison of your own making. Now, I'll return to that. Knight of Swords, I think this is what the public, well, you can't even say that anymore, can you, in the US context? The sane public who actually doesn't want to be led by a convicted felon, a sociopathic narcissist, and someone who's going to cause chaos on a daily basis for yet another 4 years. So the sane ones want action. He's being very strategic, Juan Machon, very strategic. Bless him. Whatever judges are paid, I'm not sure any of it's worth this case. The Emperor, this is my card for the Yeti, getting news he doesn't want to hear in the form of, as Hogarth would say, the stinky fish message. So going back to the first card, I think it's going to be something like a suspended sentence. If he can keep the gag order going and he breaks it or something like that, he will give a sentence where he says, I could have given you this, I've given you that, but if you don't comply with basic behaviour, it will get very bad and it could result in a custodial sentence. We all know where that road leads because he won't be able to help himself. Although once he hears the words out loud, he's going to get his henchmen to do it, just like he got Michael Flynn to do so much stuff. He's got his new gen of henchmen around him. So we'll see what comes on for that. Now, can't get away from this. Paying witnesses. Paying witnesses. Follow the money. So apparently people have said he has offered money or other financial and professional inducements to 9 witnesses. It's another whole felony. Look, we'll all have postgraduate law degrees, not just undergraduate by the time this is finished. So in the maelstrom that passes as a day in the life of, has this got any legs? Will anything come of these? They're not charges yet. You know, this is investigative stuff. But will it become another legal issue? Let's see. Let's see. The paying of the witnesses. I'll just do 3 cards. Well, yes. And I think we will hear some more about this. Okay, so we've got the Page of Pentacles, which is the message about money. We've got the USA and what holds it together, the hope, the inspiration, what used to be. At least the legal system was never perfect, just as it isn't in Australia or anywhere else. Far from perfect. But it was symbolically at least intact. But now it's eroded. I gave things a shuffle and look what came up again. So this is the card du jour. These cards, One World Tarot, that I was part of creating, the Cups cards, the court cards are set in Venice. And there's nowhere more, it's such a scorpionic place. and it was the financial heart of East meets West for like 1,000 years, and the machinations that went on in the gondolas. Okay, so I think it's talking about they're going to go after these 9, and guess what? They're going to find more. Oh, okay. Now, I want to have a look for you guys before the end, but a bit of good news. In 2022 in Idaho, at the Gay Pride Parade, there was a drag queen, Eric Posey, and a woman actually photoshopped him, Summer Bushnell. She photoshopped his image. I don't know if he was in drag or out of drag or what the fine print of this story was. Basically, with the caption saying he was flaunting his private parts to children, which was patently untrue, which was found to be the case in court this week. And she has to find a lazy $1.1 million to compensate Eric Posey. So there's a little bit of justice. We've got to grab it where we can while the rest sort of flies out the window. Okay, guys, so here we are in mid-June. Let's have a look, see what you guys can benefit from knowing about. Just want to do some cards for you. Let's have a look. What do we need to know? What do we need to know for the collective? Oh, these are interesting. And the shadow card at the bottom of the pack, you'll be really, really pleased, I think, with that. Anyway, the point being, now the shine's worn off the guilty, 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 and it's back to, oh, isn't there more? It's really important, and I keep saying this, but it's really important not to go through this experience this year, next year, the next few years alone. You are not alone. Do not do this to yourself. Make sure you debrief to other people. Oh, it's really, really important, because more swords energy with the clouds gathering, it's really important to get out from under this energy for little bite-sized pieces every day, every week. Set it as a goal. Who can you talk to? So those are the cards. And in a way, I'm sort of glad we've got more cards that are better for you. But I'm glad they turned up, because I think this is what you guys and any sentient person is thinking now, looking globally at what is happening, whether it's Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, the nonsense that is shaping up to be the November election. People feel it's all too much. And what can I do? There's only me. Either meet up with people, start a group that meets once a month or something, even if you jump up and down on the spot and talk to people, or start an online group and exchange techniques, because you guys, you are all light workers. And so you have a big role now. Karmically, we have a big role. It's time for us to morph into our Queen of Wands energy. And that is rising above it. Rising above it is not the same as ignoring it. But it is taking it from a much higher level, bird's eye view. The Queen of Wands has seen a lot go down. She's one of the great matriarchs. That's another thing someone was saying to me last night about Bahia. Despite there being a Brazilian machismo thing going on, it's quite matriarchal. This is the matriarchal card. She's seen it before. She's seen it go down. She knows you can make it. And you have to find ways to tap into your goddess energy in that sense. And for men who are watching, that's what makes you good, decent men, is that you're not terrified of the feminine. So women need to go in, find it, exult in it, right? And men also to not feel they have to prove anything by doing any macho maneuverings or anything like that. Just be decent, kind, sentient, intuitive men, being good sons, partners, cousins, neighbours. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg from the other side, thanks for dropping in, Ruth. Keep the faith, hard as it might be at this point in time. Keep the faith in the justice of the big picture. This is court justice, but it's also much bigger justice. Oh, goody. Well, great to catch up with you guys. Take care. And I'll see you again, boom, boom, quite soon. So a big adios from Salvador. Ciao, ciao.